What's going on, everybody? My name is Datir, and welcome to The Conversation. So this week's conversation, I want to talk to you guys about the difficulties in communication. Now, I remember watching like a documentary interview type of thing with Will Smith, and he was talking about that there's nothing that you're going to go through in life that someone else hasn't already went through. I wrote about it in the book. So for myself, I knew I wanted to be a communicator, so I started finding out different things that I could do to try to improve myself when it comes to communication. I haven't always had the best form of communication. I had to learn how to deliver what I was trying to say. I learned in books that sometimes it's not about what you say, it's about what people hear. Sometimes a person can receive the message if they can receive the messenger. There's nonverbal communication. There's so many different forms of communication. And on my journey, I started to realize that there's so many different perspectives that a person can have, and a person can put things off on you, and it doesn't even belong to you. But also reading my latest book, The Four Agreement, it let me understand to not take things personal. And sometimes when it comes to a person, if you agree with what somebody is saying about you, it can kind of hold you down and hold you back. Because I'll listen to Les Brown as well, it kind of correlates with the book, is that someone else's perspective of you don't have to become your reality. So I was talking to a friend of mine about perspective, because like in a lot of the black homes in the community, the way we was disciplined was very, in today's time, abusive. And the things that our parents would use to whoop us would be not your typical object like a belt. You know, it was more like switches, extension cords, boards, hangers, whatever it may be. And for some people, it was normalized. And it's like, it didn't bother us. We wasn't traumatized by it. But some people was traumatized by it. It's a mindset. It's a perspective. It ain't something that you choose, but it's just like, it didn't affect you like that. Then someone else, true story, 3 girls, had a room, siblings, and their mom told them to clean the room. And they threw all their clothes in the closet. Mom came in the room, seen the clothes all in the closet. She threw all the clothes out, took all the clothes that was hung up on the hanger, threw it out, and then threw the shirt at the oldest daughter and said, now clean all of it back up and do it right this time. Well, the daughter who got the shirt thrown at her, she was traumatized by that moment of her mom throwing all the clothes on the floor and throwing a shirt at her. Until her mid-30s, she still had some type of resentment towards her mom. That was so wild to me, because I'm like, that was it? Like, that's what made you traumatized by something like that? But that's me not having that same type of mindset, because everything affects people differently. So when it comes to the difficulties of communication, I just wanted to point out that certain people go through certain things and things affect people differently. The way you say something might come off to someone else very harsh, and that's not the way you're meaning it. Sometimes the way you say something is how you mean it, but a person is not able to understand it in that format that you gave it to them. So it's like, these things are so difficult, but you're not the only person in life that goes through these problems. It's not only difficult when it comes to your companion. It's difficult when it comes to family members and so forth, and friends as well. We all have fallen out with a friend or with a family member because of the lack of communication, because of how someone articulated something to us or how we felt about what they said, and it can make you feel some type of way. So I just want to bring that conversation up, is that these things are very difficult for you to be able to grasp, but I feel like that it is necessary for you to try to figure out, what can I do to try to figure out how can I develop myself when it comes to figuring out how can I invest in myself when it comes to my communication style and my communication skill. These things is very hard, and it took so long for me to figure out that certain areas of my life that I had to grow. So I started to invest into going to seminars, started investing into purchasing certain books and having certain communications or conversations with people about things that I felt like that I needed to work on, and I seen that this person or people was successful in it. So right now that I'm in a relationship, I try to seek out people who have been in relationships for a long period of time, because I'm seeing that I'm going through things inside of a relationship that I wouldn't be typically going through as a single. And it's because life is different trying to mix two different people's lives together and trying to be impactful and try to grow together. Sometimes what you might feel that is something that you're trying to do to help can make this person feel like you're trying to belittle them or tear them down when you're doing the opposite. And it can get very difficult. You can really uplift someone in other ways, but really feel a certain type of way about a person's verbiage, the way that they choose to articulate things to you, and it could be a trigger for you. A lot of us have traumas from childhood, the way we was raised, and previous relationships, and traumas from verbal abuse, physical abuse, anything like that, like a lot of different things, etc. So it's like we have to be mindful that whatever you're going through in life, understand that you're not the only person that's going through a difficult moment when it comes to communication. And communication is very hard, but I feel like that it is, like I said, a necessity. Try to figure out how can I invest into myself to try to learn how I can properly, communicate how I'm trying to feel, and try to also understand. To me, understanding someone is a form of communication. It's not just you working on how you're communicating, but how do you receive what someone's trying to communicate to you. Anyway, y'all, that's been my time. It's one love from me to you. Remember that you rest in the end, not the middle. You're more than enough. It's progress, not perfection. My name is Datir, and welcome to The Conversation.